All right, what's the poll question we have, Seton, before we dive into the other topics today?
I'm going to go with one that hits a bunch of topics, Dan.
Right.
Biggest win this weekend.
Ooh.
Sweden over our girls.
Okay.
Bryson DeChambeau shooting a 58. Cubs, massive statement this weekend. Or Todd Fritz conquering Bridgeport.
Oh, I think it's obvious.
Sweden.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Cubs.
Yes, Paul.
I like to throw in the Big 12 as a winner. I know that was Friday, but if we could shoehorn into the weekend. The Big 12, remember a couple years ago when they lost to Oklahoma and Texas? It felt like they were going the wrong direction. They've righted the ship.
Yeah, their previous commissioner, Bob Bowlesby, did a wonderful job. He's not going to get a lot of credit here, but he kept the Big 12 alive, bringing in some schools that people go, what are you bringing them in for? You at least had inventory. The Pac-12 doesn't have any inventory. Colorado goes, and everybody goes, who cares, Colorado? Well, Dion's at Colorado. It's a big deal. And Arizona going. Now, all of a sudden, the Big 12, you got some basketball there. Years ago, we thought that maybe Texas was going to join the Pac-12. There's so many things that if you look back on the Pac-12 where you go, what were you thinking or not thinking? But when the previous commissioner makes more money, $50 million, than the schools would make each year, there's a problem with that. I mean, Larry Scott, he dismantled the Pac-12. And I don't know what they add, who they add, if they have any. I don't think they have any idea. That's part of the problem here. Everybody else seems to have a game plan. And it's all about a footprint. If you can get into, we talked about this with the SEC. Would the SEC go, do we want Clemson and or Florida State to go to the Big Ten? Let's block that, and then maybe we invite them to the SEC. That's the only other major move that can happen, I think. Notre Dame, that'll eventually sort it out over the next 5 years probably. But if you're the Big Ten, now all of a sudden I can get a footprint into SEC territory, grabbing these two ACC schools. That's the big one for me. If you get Florida State and you get Clemson, maybe you only get one. Maybe the SEC said, you know what, let's take, Clemson. And make no mistake about it, Florida State is leaving the ACC. Question is when, not if, but when. And then what's Clemson do? What's the ACC do? It's just a mess. And really, it comes down to we as college football fans, what's it mean for us? Do we get better games? Can we find these games, everything on linear TV? That was the problem with the Pac-12. These schools like Oregon's going, wait, we're not on regular TV. We're streaming. We're trying to do the same model that Messi's doing with Inter Miami. Like, we're the Pac-12. What are we doing? And the answer is nothing. And it was pretty much dead from what I'm told Thursday night to Friday morning. It was over with the Pac-12. They were trying to show some solidarity, and it wasn't there because Oregon and Washington had already checked out. And then you had Arizona. I don't know what Arizona State does. I don't know if any of these schools are like, hey, do we bond together or every man for himself? Because that's what it feels like with college football. There's no loyalty whatsoever. Please do not use the expression student athlete one more anytime. Don't do it because they're not student athletes. They are athletes. And this was all about a cash grab. All of these commissioners, all of these athletic directors, please do not bring up, well, they get a scholarship. They make millions for your schools. That's why you have realignment. Everybody wants their money. They want the bag, as Dion likes to say. It's hypocritical. But you saw grown men act like kids. Hey, let's do it. No, I can't even put that on the kids. They were supposed to be grown-ups in the building. And it's embarrassing. Really was. The way this all unfolded. Here's Deion Sanders.
I don't care what conference, who we're playing against, we're trying to win. All this is about money, you know that. It's about a bag. Everybody's chasing a bag. Then you get mad at the players when they chase it. How's that? How do the grown-ups get mad at the players when they chasing it when the colleges are chasing it?
He's right. Yeah. And then you have Florida State. The North Carolina athletic director, his name is Bubba Cunningham, the athletic director at North Carolina on Florida State, possibly leaving.
If they want to leave, then that's going to be their choice. But there's certain obligations that they do have. We have an exit fee and we have a grant of rights. I believe that the ACC is a great league. It's been a great league for a long time. And quite frankly, I don't think it's good for our league for them to be out there barking like that. And I'd rather see them, be a good member of the league and support the league. And if they have to make a decision, then so be it. Pay for the exit fee, wait for your grant of rights that you've given. And then when in 2036, when those rights return to you, do whatever you want.
Well, it's going to happen sooner than that, Bubba. Yeah, it's going to. Sounds nice. Everybody talks tough. And then all of a sudden, people go, wait, they left? Yeah, they left. Oklahoma, Texas. Oh, they're not. Oh, they left? Well, they're still there, but then they officially get to leave. UCLA, USC. Well, they're not going to be in the Big Ten. Yeah, they are. When we look at this geographically, please understand this. This is about the Big Ten getting its footprint into all the time zones. You could have programming from 9 or 10 in the morning till midnight. That's what you want. You want quality programming, and you got the Big Ten network, and it's about getting all over the country. That's why if you could get into the South, if the Big Ten could get into Clemson and Florida State, it just expands the brand. It's all going to lead to probably two major conferences, the Big Ten and the SEC. But the SEC, you don't ask for an invite. They invite you. You don't show up at the party. They give you an invite to show up. And I think they're so powerful that what's going to happen is you're going to see if they take Florida State and or Clemson just to keep them out of the Big Ten, because that's what the game is now. ACC, just be careful that you don't do what the Pac-12 did. Ensure that you can keep it together, because everybody else, it's all up for grabs. Yes, Eaton.
You lose a couple of those ACC schools and
you lose the ACC.
it's ugly.
The artist formerly known as.
That is ugly.